Hello, welcome to your reading. It's just kind of a, I'm gonna turn this off. Just kind of a reading for reading's sake. I just want to make sure that overall it's in the view. So, pardon me while I get everything together. Alright, because this isn't overhead, so this isn't an overhead video. So there's that. Okay, so I'm using the Uncommon Tarot. I'm using Liminal Spirits Oracle, and we're going to go from there. So the messages that are coming through right now. Messages. Entities, guides, flash, Lord, please come through with messages that are needed at this time. The messages that come. Alright. And I'm not gonna do reversals. I just need to put it down. Okay. So you have the Star, the Six of Cups, the Ace of Swords. So happiness is a very direct path, is what I'm getting. It's very straightforward. It's very direct. You have Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. It's very straightforward. It's very direct. People, I think, this may be a twin flame type thing. People assume that before you go get happy, you have to go through like utterly tumultuous things. And I don't know, that's not a religious bend. I don't know what that is about, but it's not necessarily like the case with this. It feels like that's kind of just false for some reason. Like, I don't know, like it seems kind of false. That like before you can be happy, like you have to keep going through all this stuff. And I think what's happening is that you're putting happiness on the back burner for like another day, and then like that day sort of never comes, and that's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that needs to be worked through. It's very honest. I feel like this deck very honest about that emotion, very honest about that way of thinking. I think that people who are watching readings maybe need to, and I just did this today and I'll do a video on it, but reevaluate sometimes the reader's way of seeing the world and how it comes out in readings, because you know, everything is just down the road, and it's like this dangling carrot syndrome type thing that people start to develop, that I have to just wait it out, and there is no sense of presently being happy. And the message could be being told that you need to be happy in the present moment, but I kind of feel like there's a little bit of help needed to encourage people to be in that spot. I think also there may be a little bit of projection of unhappiness a little bit too. And I think that this is, I guess, meant to shake people so that they can start to really evaluate who they get their information from, what's the source of their information, and you know, what is being put on them in terms of like childhood or relationships or just like circumstances. And this is also something that happens outside of that. Like people like project onto you like in your daily like walking life, like outside of an online sphere, how people kind of project things or like don't give you any credit for things that you are doing and things like that. And so there just may be a little bit of pushback that needs to be there, that needs to be happening, so that you can kind of get your bearings on life. Because if not, the star quality you do have will get dampened by a lot of other people's issues that they're leaking onto you under the guise of guidance, essentially. So I guess what I'm trying to say is take a lot of the advice with a grain of salt, I guess, including this. So so that you can be free and then like kind of open your mind up. I think what's happening may be a reevaluation for some people in terms of who they're reading for and who they're watching readings from. That may be a shift that's happening with people. Like, is this the core group I want to read for? Is this the core group I want to watch? Like, do I want to watch these sorts of readers? Do I want to watch these sorts of people? Do I want to interact with these sorts of people? Because it could be like about offline type things, like, and it could be an established group, right? From with the Six of Cups, from like very nostalgic way back. But like, is that who you are now? Like, are you not like the star of your friends or something like that? It's, are you shining as brightly as you could now? And if the answer is no, then like kind of reevaluate the arena that you're in, because you don't want to be in arenas where you're shining brightly but then people are like always trying to attack you or make you feel bad or what, you know, like you don't want that. You want very clear, open, honest, vulnerable people around you who care about what you're doing, who are perhaps informed about what you're doing, as far as like they know like certain ins and outs about it. But even if they don't, that they're supportive to you, and that they, through those relationships, you have like this opening and awakening of creativity and abundance through your relationships with people who could be very long lasting people or people who you just met, but that openness, that honesty is there, you know? So I'm gonna put that down there. And then 3 in there. Okay, 2 came out here. And then the last one. Oh, it literally came, it literally wanted to come up. So we have the 2. Yes and no. So we have the Sun, the World, and then 2 of Wands. So yeah, leaving, even in the color palette, like it's a lot more blue and then a lot more orange reds, like being more engaged. So we have the Sun with the World and then 2 of Wands. So being more engaged, open with people, being a lot less guarded, a lot less closed off, being a little bit more vulnerable, getting what you want out of life, being able to see what you want. And that also comes from a lot of the projections and the clarity through this process of unlearning and recognizing maybe like certain projections onto you, energetic and otherwise. I think that this is something to consider for the future, right? Especially for the people who are gonna experience like snow and whatnot, like being kind of huddled in. This is a time where you kind of have to reevaluate some of the things that have been taught to you, some of the things that you've kind of developed over the years, if you know, you're looking even beyond 2023. And you kind of just have to like burn those things away and then look at your situation anew. It's really kind of, I guess, the beginning of the end of the year, right? The end of the year is next month. It's November already, and it's about to be mid-November at the end of this upcoming week. So there are some things to be wrapped up, and making sure that you maintain that sunlight within yourself, sunlight being that core essence of creativity, of openness, of expressiveness, and making sure that you're not, through experiences, perhaps dampening yourself or giving up and abandoning certain things, and choosing you in the situation makes all the difference for that. So we're going to go to the Oracle. And we have the card of Bone. So the card of Bone. So to me, that means just letting things go, letting things naturally end, letting it wear down, letting it degrade, making sure that you just kind of keep those experiences buried, I guess. You don't have to dredge them up all the time. And I feel like you may dredge up traumas or emotional hardships as a way of relating to people. This new phase, you'll be relating to people in a lot lighter energy, playful energy where you're being shown your quirks and interacting with people in very childlike, as opposed to cold and guarded. The way of being that you're open and expressive is coming through. That new expansiveness is coming through. That newness of yourself is coming through. And for some people, they're going to find that it's not necessarily really new. It's just a layer that they perhaps have buried away because of certain projections. And, you know, they didn't necessarily feel like they could be that way. But yeah. So, God's rat. So, Bone, I'm going to read from the book. Bones, being the earthly remains of the dead, speak broadly of mortality, yet their ability to endure reminds us of the power of life and the steadfastness of memory. Some of the earliest tools were made from bones. We may think of the science of anatomy as a fairly recent invention, but early humans from their first hunting days must have had a solid understanding of how bodies worked. While they may not have known what happened on the molecular level, they learned how to work sinew, bone, fat, meat, and organs to their advantage. It is likely that our ancestors connected to the power of the animal with its remains, feeling they were tapping into that spirit's wisdom and essence. Today, bones are still transformed into tools, musical instruments, and items of divination, decoration, and ceremony. Messages: focus on what's most important. What is the enduring legacy you wish to leave behind? What do you wish to be said of you after you are gone? And so the only way you'll be able to really do that is if you open up. And you have to open up and be your most raw and vulnerable self, right? And so you have to let this old pass away so that you can start anew, right? Because, you know, you will be bones, you know, passing away, but while you're still living, what are the foundations and the legacies of yourself that are going to be left behind, right? What are the creative projects? What are the relationships? What is the spiritual force that you feel like will be left behind? So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Yeah, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Take care.